Hello, it's Polish Pol VR, welcome back to the channel. We are here today to do some more PSVR2 news. Microsoft just dropped a very detailed Q&A about the PlayStation 5 and PSVR2 version of Microsoft Flight Simulator, answering loads of questions you've probably been wondering about, and I've got all the answers right here. But that's not all. Today we've got some great announcements. A proper good game has just been revealed for PlayStation VR2. We finally have the release date for the fantastic looking Ghost Town, and there's so much more happening across the PSVR2. I must say, PSVR2 definitely feels very alive. And also, I'll be reviewing the new Smurfs DLC for epic roller coasters. So if you like what you're seeing, please press a like and subscribe. It helps the channel stay relevant and helps it grow, and I super appreciate it. Before we start, a quick word from today's sponsor, 13Z Zodiac Trials. This is 13Z, the Zodiac Trials, an action roguelite inspired by Eastern mythology and fast, stylish combat. You play as challenger fighting through the 12 Zodiac Guardians, mastering new abilities and transformations as you climb toward the title of the 13th Zodiac. Every rune reshapes your build, new powers, new combos, new ways to fight, leap in, slash through enemies, and grow stronger with every setback. Created by the team behind Sariento VR and Hellsweeper VR, 13Z brings their signature fast movement and kinetic action to PC. Plans for virtual reality are in the works. And now, the co-op demo has arrived on Steam. Team up with up to 4 players online, mix your abilities, revive each other, and cause a ton of glorious chaos together. Try it for free. For streamers, Twitch integration is ready. Your fans can vote on modifiers, crank up your difficulty, and drop surprises into your rune at any moment. 13Z, the Zodiac Trials, rise together, fight together, claim your place. Link to the Steam page is in the description. Alright, let's go, and we starting from the review. The Smurfs DLC just landed in the epic roller coasters. The base game is free to play. You get a handful of free tracks, and then there is a ton of paid content. This one included at a 10 quid price tag. But is it good, or does it suck balls? I'm going to tell you all about it. Let's go. Before we talk about the DLC itself, I need to go back for a moment. To year 1991. Poland has just broken free from the grip of the Soviet Union 2 years earlier, thanks to the efforts of countless brave Polish people, but also thanks to President Ronald Reagan, who, as I learned later in school, approved some cool covert CIA support, applied some pressure on Russia economically, and pushed back against Soviet influence. It was great learning about it after it happened. But anyway, basically, he did a lot of risky things just to help. So Poland fought, the West helped, and we become a free country. Some people take that for granted, but my life today simply wouldn't exist in the same way without the bravery and determination of those people. And now listen, there is a reason I'm talking about it. At the time, I was nearly 7 years old. I didn't understand politics or the importance of any of it. I was just a kid who's been lucky enough to have loving parents. But in my young head, I did understood that life was very poor before, but it was very slowly getting better now. And one day, my dad, who sadly is no longer with us, bought a second-hand TV, and not just any TV. It was a color TV. Back in Soviet Poland, a color TV was a luxury item. But now, in our new country, we finally had one. And the first thing I watched on it was the Smurfs. And holy shit, they were blue. Fast forward to today, decades later, I'm much older, maybe not getting excited the way later version of me did. You know, life throws stress, bills, work, loss, personal struggles and responsibilities at you. And that simple childlike excitement and imagination fades away to something much quieter. You don't jump around anymore. Instead, nostalgia just hits you in the chest like a bullet. And that's exactly what happened when I put on the PSVR2 headset and suddenly found myself in a Smurfs world again. Here I am, all those years later, enjoying my freedom, and I'm back in the Smurfs village. But not only in color, but also in VR. I'm not seeing it on TV, I'm in the actual Smurf village. That little me, who saw Smurfs in color 35 years ago, would lose his mind now. And it did feel special. It reminded me where I started, what my parents sacrificed, and how much of my life today is built on the struggles of people who came before me. So yeah, anyway, now onto the DLC. On paper, it feels a bit steep since you only get 3 tracks, but each one comes in multiple modes: classic rides, shooter mode and race modes. Classic ride is your chill, sit back roller coaster ride. Shooter mode feels a bit like Switchback VR, but with a more family friendly vibe and better track designs, I must say, even though I would wish they cranked up the fire rate, because right now it doesn't feel as smooth as it could. The slow motion mechanic though, it's great. Then there's a race mode where you control your speed. Go too fast you crash, go too slow, well, your final time is shitty. You also get a new themed card. While it is 3 tracks, they are long, they are fast, and they are very well designed. A lot of this DLC happens outside the track actually. You flying around the environment, which feels fantastic. The visuals are properly charming. The Smurfs village looks nice. There are tons of characters, events and costume animations, and little surprises everywhere you look. This is not one of those free tracks with, let's say, cheaper looking assets. This one definitely feels premium. There is Gargamel and his evil cat, Papa Smurfs absolutely shitting himself seeing him. All of it is here. Epic Roller Coasters has that soft visuals. I wish it was a bit sharper, but this DLC looks nice anyway. I do wish they used head haptics though on PSVR2 for jumps and crashes. Sound design is solid too, with that cheerful Smurfy background music. Not much voice acting going on, probably because they couldn't just get original actors. But the visuals and, you know, all of that, the storytelling, it's all being carried fine here. The DLC takes you through a full narrative, from delivering berries, a very nice little start, to eventually serving the Smurfs and the village. And if you're unsure, there is a free demo you can try as well right now. So you can just check it out before you buy, so big shout out to the developers for doing so. I don't score DLC packs with a number system like I do with my proper reviews of games and peripherals, but I either recommend it, say, to wait for sale or to avoid, and with this one, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It's slightly pricey, I know, for the amount you get, but the content is polished, the tracks are long, and it's a great show your friends VR experience. But for me, it just hit differently. It reminded me that the freedom I grew up into wasn't guaranteed, it was earned by the people who fought, resisted, hoped and pushed. So, most of us take it all for granted now, we moan, we complain, we argue, while forgetting how fragile this freedom can be. And maybe I am overthinking things here, but I really can't imagine how different my life would be if Poland, along with its allies, never fought for that freedom. So yeah, it is a bit weird Smurfs DLC review, but it took me right back to that day I saw a blue Smurf on my first color TV for a first time. And I must say, that's the beauty of well-done VR experience. It hits you when you don't expect it. So, leaving that behind now, let's move on to the news. And first of all, on the official PlayStation channel today, a new announcement just dropped, a massive surprise and pretty cool one. Bootstrap Island is officially coming to PlayStation VR2. This might be one of the most well-received PSVR2 announcements we've seen for a while. The comments section is absolutely buzzing when I read it in that video. People are hyped, and this looks like one of those rare moments where the community collectively says, yeah, this one is the good stuff. Bootstrap Island is scheduled for 2026, and if you don't know what it is yet, think of it as a brutal, unforgiving survival roguelike set in a mysterious 17th century island where the game gives you nothing. No hand-holding, no second choices, just instinct, skill and pure greed. The world is completely system-driven, day and night cycles matter, weather matters, fire and liquids interact in complex way, everything reacts to everything. So every run becomes chaotic, unpredictable and kind of terrifying in VR. You will die a lot, but your death will be a progress. You learn by doing, you adapt, you unlock new tools, and every new session reshuffles the world, the resources and even the events. It's full roguelike survival world with that one more try addiction loop. And on top of that, there's a narrative layer where you slowly uncover the survivor's story. Who you are, who you were before the shipwreck, and why you survived when everyone else is dead. Now, next story. System Critical has officially been delayed to early 2026, the developer announced. They said it is to deliver the best VR experience I possibly can, that's me quoting. That requires a lot of polish and work. I'm only one person and haven't had time to work on it as much as I'd like due to travel and work, but I promise you all it'd be worth the wait. He also mentioned the game is around 90% finished, but needs that extra time to fully deliver on what he's aiming for. For solo developer effort, this thing is looking pretty cool. If you've played the previous System Critical games, you know the vibe, almost kind of like a bit of VR take on Mega Man, with this arcade action and fast-paced shooting. It's a small series, but it's got charm and it's been slowly leveling up with each release. Now, moving on. Fireproof Games, the studio behind the legendary The Room series, has officially announced that Ghost Town is launching on PlayStation VR2 on 1st of December, just in time for Christmas and just around the corner, and I could not be any more excited. This one has been a long time coming, and judging by the excitement online as well, all of us, we all ready for it. Ghost Town is a single-player supernatural puzzle adventure where you step into the shoes of Edith, a paranormal detective whose life is thrown into chaos when her brother mysteriously disappears. Her investigation leads her to a remote Scottish island, a gifted clairvoyant, if I'm saying it right, and a string of hauntings that are far more dangerous than they first appear. The game leans heavily into VR physically. You'll be exploring atmospheric locations with your torch in hand, solving tactile, hands-on puzzles, casting spells, summoning and interacting with spirits, and uncovering the secrets behind each haunting. Fireproof says the entire project has taken over 4 years to develop, and the production value really shows. Eerie environments, great lighting, and that classic fireproof puzzle DNA design. They are small indie team from Gulliford, but their games, they definitely punch way above their weight, and I like them all. Now, next story, we've got a couple of PSVR2 price corrections to report. One game was priced too low, and the other one was priced too high. And thankfully for the game that was priced too high, and sadly for the games that was priced too low, it's been all corrected now. RoboQuest VR launched in Europe and the UK with the wrong price. It was underpriced compared to other regions, but that now has been corrected and it currently sits at 25 quid and 29 euros. On the opposite side of things, Pool VR launched with the price that was higher than intended in some regions, even costing double than what the Steam version did in some places. So the developers confirmed it was an error and now the price has been fixed, it's €10 now. Okay, moving on to the next story. The beautifully strange claymation adventure The Midnight Walk officially getting a physical PS5 and PSVR2 edition, published by Pix and Love. Great news for collectors and fans of unique VR experiences. Moonhood, the studio behind The Midnight Walk, was funded by the developers of Ghost Giant, the adorable and heartwarming PSVR1 classic. If you remember Ghost Giant, it was one of those beautiful VR experiences, emotional, charming and full of personality, and you can definitely see some of that artistic soul carrying into The Midnight Walk. In this game, you play as the burnt one, accompanied by a little lantern creature named Potboy, exploring dark fantasy world built entirely in handcrafted claymation. It launched digitally back in May with the optional PC VR and PSVR2 support. The physical edition comes with a reversible cover, and pre-orders go live on 2nd of December through Pix and Love website. There's also collector's edition confirmed, but the details on that and what's inside it are still a mystery for now. Okay, and now we need to talk about that. The developers of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 has just posted a big questions and answers. And there's a lot important info here for anyone planning to buy the PS5 version. Also, in the background, as I'm talking now, you can see the regional release times, so have a good look where you live and what you'll be getting. But anyway, let's jump into those Q&As. So, if you pre-order Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 on the PlayStation Store, you get the Northrop T-38A Talon as a bonus aircraft at launch, and if you pre-order the Deluxe, Premium Deluxe or Aviator editions, you also get early access starting December the 3rd. There will be a physical disc, but this disc is basically just a key. The disc does not support standalone gameplay. You still need an internet connection and a digital installation to play. And good news, you don't need Microsoft account or Microsoft gamer tag to play on PlayStation 5. When it comes to PlayStation Plus, you only need PS Plus for play multiplayer. Everything else works offline. There is no crossplay at all. The PlayStation version uses separate servers from Xbox and PC. Now, the in-sim marketplace will be available on PlayStation at launch, and it will include Microsoft-produced aircraft, the latest world and city updates, Simverse coin packs, and upgrade packs for higher tier edition. What is important, marketplace items you own on Xbox or PC do not carry over to PS5, and the third-party items, it looks like they won't be there at launch. But hopefully Microsoft will bring them in the future. When it comes to the controllers and peripherals, it will support both DualSense and DualSense Edge controllers, with more details coming soon, but also confirmed at launch is support for Thrustmaster T-Flight HOTAS 4. They reconfirm, yes, it is coming. I'm talking here about PSVR2, by the way. And the PSVR2 is coming, but not at launch. The PSVR2 support is planned for 2026, and it is currently, as we speak, they're still developing it, so there is no release date for it yet. But here I am for you on this channel, so stay tuned, and as soon as I know, I will let you know. And also, yes, they're saying yes, of course you can play it on the PlayStation Portal. And that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you like what you're seeing, then please press a like, because it does help the channel a lot. And if you're new to the channel and are not subscribed, then subscribe. It's always better when it's more of us. And that's it. Bye.